about this earlier, right? About Ethan Nwaneri saying like he can't handle the physical, or like, so I guess every player has their own, capabilities, or like they can only push themselves to a certain limit, and like that's part on the medical team to kind of do all that analysis, and they have all the data to be like, okay, well, this player could only play this much, or like we should, I'm not a scientist, but like I know there's a team that does that, right? We just got to be mindful of how we utilize that. You're right, of course, like Mbappe, Vinicius, all these players, they play every single game, but we can't compare like all these players because they're not all going to have the same injuries. They don't all have the same body. Also, the Premier League is way more physical, right, than La Liga, for example. Like Vinicius doesn't get, well, actually, probably Vinicius gets challenged as much as Saka. But I mean, some other players maybe don't, right? And they don't get knocked as much and don't get kneed as much. And, I don't know. Maybe I'm making an excuse, but that's how I see it.
No, I do think my personal opinion, people exaggerate a lot about we need to rest and all of these things. And I think it's overstated. But there is legitimate claims. We need to be cute and clever with that regards, man. We need to kind of wrap certain man in cotton wool. And I'm no physio, as African Gooner said, but it doesn't surprise me the players who got the hamstring injuries because of the minutes they played, not just this season, but the seasons prior for club and country. The reality is it's only going to get worse. The people that control the games that me and you and everybody love, there's only going to be more fixtures. There's only going to be more at international level, which we're seeing. There's only going to be more as soon as the season stops. So for me, I think the broader conversation is just having bigger depth. As we close out this stream here, I want to run through some transfer stuff with you lot quickly. Finally, Zubimendi's in London. What did you lot make of it as it appears to be getting over the line? I didn't think we get it, lads.
I was never scared.
Yeah, me neither.
Honestly, I was never scared. I was never scared. Like it got announced in January. And I personally think they already foresaw that Partey might not accept that 200 grand. They foresaw that. They probably knew that Partey is probably going to say no. So let's get this in nice and early. Fabrizio announced it. A couple of the sources that I've got around the club.
Another ITK.
So
got two on the platform, people.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I wasn't scared. Never scared.
Yeah, no, I think similar for me. We knew that it was done pretty much. Like I think it was a lot of scaremongering and just like regular Arsenal fan stuff. Like again, we've gone through so much turmoil and we have so many scars. And
we're free clicks, Arsenal fans, man.
Like just because he changed his mind last season, everyone was certain like, oh, he's gonna change his mind. He's gonna change his mind, and we even heard right from the reliable hand of Arsenal that
big him up.
He had signed a contract, right? Basically, that if he breaks that contract and he goes to Madrid, and Real Madrid would have to pay a hefty fine. So I mean, yeah, for me it was quite clear and obvious. What I'm only surprised about is the fact that no one tracked his plane and no one knew that he was actually going to be in London. Because usually we know that, right? We know the clouds formation. We know everything. I mean, I've
maybe our fans are growing up a bit, man. They got work.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but or it was just hidden really, really well. I think it's probably the latter more than us getting bored, because I don't think we get bored of Arsenal transfers. So, yeah, man, it's a good signing, 50 million, and I'm excited to see what he does. He's going to help dictate our tempo. He's going to increase, the amount of.
I'm bullish about his signing, man. I think he's going to be good for us.
Someone said in the chat, I don't think we need Zubimendi personally. I think it's a pointless signing. Really?
What's your lot's rebuttal to that?
Listen, African Gooner, go ahead, my bro.
I was gonna say, we don't have anyone who can turn on the ball. Like when our center defensive mid goes and collects the ball from Saliba and Gabriel, Declan Rice is usually might be that guy, and Odegaard is that guy sometimes on the left, on the right side, right? We struggle to turn and start going forward. We take way too long. We make like 3, 4, 5 passes before turning and looking forward. Zubimendi is that guy who will get the ball, turn, and make that first pass. Like he will punch the ball really quickly and put it straight onto the front foot, which is what we need, because we take so long that the smaller teams settle and then they put their low block, and by the time we're ready and we turn and we face them, they have 11 players behind the ball. We are trying to break them down. We don't have a single player bar Odegaard who doesn't do it enough to actually go and make those through passes in between that, the block. Or we also don't have a player that's going to go dribble 3 of those guys, get someone to try and come tackle him, and that opens up space to put someone in behind to put them one-on-one. We don't have.
Don't you think some of that is by design, though? Like I hear what you're saying, but don't you think some of it is by design by Arteta? How slow we are?
Arteta's plan was always to
consequently.
have Zubimendi, right? And we went for him last year, and then we settled with Mourinho. So I think this is just like we waited a whole year just to get that, and we may have changed our tactics this season to fit what we had because we couldn't get Zubimendi, in my opinion. And I'm hoping that during preseason with him, we're going to see a slightly different approach on the way we go for games. And my hope is, guys, that when we're leading 1-0 against teams, we're not sitting back anymore, right? Because now we have someone that can just like give us that confidence that, hey, you know what, he's gonna just be that little destroyer, and then you have
Go play it by ear, man. There's some games I want us to be able to go for the kill at 1-0 up. There's some games I think
and with him we should have the confidence to be able to go and do that and push two attacking players. Let Declan Rice go forward more. Declan Rice is gonna have so much more freedom, which is gonna help Martinelli or whoever that left winger is, and then hopefully we got a damn striker who can finish his dinner, and then you got a serious team, man.
Do you not worry, that it's like obviously as I think Zubimendi is going to work. I can see how it bangs. I'm wanting all of that stuff, but he has to be given an opportunity to adapt to the league, the system, his teammates, all of that. If we let Partey go, aren't we a bit light in midfield? Because you've got Zubimendi adapting, you've got Rice in the 8, you've got Odegaard who's not quite in that role. God forbid they don't get injured. Yes, Miles Lewis-Skelly can play in there, but we haven't seen that yet. And such is Arsenal's luck, there might be a scenario where we might say, all right, go put Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield, but then we ain't got a left back available for whatever reason. Such is life in the Premier League. Don't you not think we're a bit short if we let Partey go? It's essentially one out and one in.
No, do you know what it is? Is that at first I thought that, and then I started looking at the wages that he wanted. I was like, it might be best for him to go.
Yeah, he's trying to chop bread.
He's trying to chop. First of all, we need to remember as well, Marino can play as a number 6 as well, right?
Yeah.
Miles Skelly, I used to go watch him for the under 18s, and this guy was absolutely quality in that defensive midside, because not only did he just stay, he was able to burst through. He's able to make those driving runs, as you saw from last season, from left back into those central areas. And then at the same time, if he does go into defensive midfield, we got Kivio, we got Calafiori there, right? So personally, I get it. It would be nice to have
still trying to see Kivio left back.
Bro, if he has to go, there, he has to go there. Because I'd rather listen, bro. I'd rather us go for the likes of Sesko, Gyokeres, Rodrigo, and then a Morgan Rogers, right? Yeah. Because that's what
we ain't gonna afford him though, man. Forgive me for my pessimism, and I don't think you're wrong. I'd love that, but
that's the thing. Big clubs. If we keep saying, our fans keep saying, with this big club, with this big club, with this elite club, we need to start doing these things. If we brought in Berta for an extra amount of money, it's no point.
Go find me an unknown guy that can bring something. I just want another midfielder, and I could argue maybe the club knew it, because in an ideal world, Partey doesn't act about his wages and all of those kind of things. Zubimendi comes in anyways, as you both said. Marino's there, Rice is there. I know people don't hear it, but you do have the option of Kai Havertz going into midfield, the Lewis-Skellys and Wanyeris, which we haven't really seen. I must admit, I'm very nervous about that midfield. I am. I think I need one more body to be sweet.
Short. Have you guys seen that video? There's like this one fan that goes to, was it Edu Gaspar? And he's telling him to sign someone. I don't remember who it was. And he's like, we're short in midfield, bro. We're short in midfield.
We're short, man. Because our manager for the last year, 2024, he said on 3-4 occasions, we've got the smallest squad. We've got one of the smallest squad. Our squad is small. We've only got 14, 15 players. We do have injury-prone players. We've got players that have been in the red zone. I'm not saying that to catch Mikel Arteta out. It's you're the manager, and you don't really give much away. So when you're saying this, and I'm seeing it play out, I need us to do something. Like I said earlier, I just want us to be overstocked for once. I use that term loosely.
Why have that expectation when Arsenal have never been that team? We're always missing. We always don't address everything. There's always
to get to a realm that you've never been. You got to do stuff you've never done.
Yeah, I know, but I don't expect that we're gonna do that, because
I don't either. But that's why I'm asking the questions.
But that's the thing is what you need to remember, right? We can also use Rice there as a number 6 as well. This is the reason why I would run us to get another number 8. It would make sense to get.
I'm on that. Yeah, that's why I mean midfielder. Like I'm not getting hung up on 2 6s and that. I'm just saying a body.
I need a cam. I need an attacking player. I need an attacking midfielder.
Honestly, I don't want a 6. It would be nice to have a 6, but we don't need a 6.
Someone mentioned Rangers, like a profile of that as an 8 in the mix with Zubimendi and Rice and that. And Wanyeris and Lewis-Skelly, I'm sweet.
Morgan Gibbs White, Morgan Rogers, those are the 2 we need to go with.
Kudus, Xavi Simons, Eze, I'll take any.
No, not Xavi Simons, not Xavi Simons.
Why?
Thank you. There's someone that don't rate him like that for me. I like him. I have him at Arsenal, but too much gassing for him.
But for
Why?
me,
He can
do you know what it
score,
is
he
for
can
me,
assist, he can create, he
bro?
can dribble, he has an
Bro,
engine.
do you really see the level of consistency required?
Consistency. Listen, you need to
Bro,
remember
this
if
guy
you
come
look
from
at
La Masia, bro.
if you look at Leipzig and you look at a season at Leipzig, it wasn't the best. Plus
But they also
me,
had a bad season. Let's also
I hear that.
let's also
I
caveat that.
I just think
that
he's too hot
that's
and
true.
cold, man.
For me, I need someone that
He's
is
a
already
baller, though.
situated to the prim.
He's a
I want
baller,
someone that's
bro.
already in the prim. I would
Yeah,
prefer that because
I hear
because
that. I hear that.
it
But it's more
eliminates the
expensive.
getting used to the prim type of stuff. Morgan Gibbs
Nah, I
White,
hear that.
Morgan Rogers. Let's go. Literally.
Morgan Rogers, I'm a big fan of, but Aston Villa are gonna struggle to sell to us. I know they need money, but they're
They
gonna
need money.
try to.
You're telling me right now. You're telling me right now. You drop a 70 mil, they're not going to accept.
Of course they will, but we're not gonna
Uh,
spend 70 mil on a cam.
I
We
don't
ain't
know.
getting a cam. I'm telling you now, we ain't getting a cam. I don't even know if we're getting another
Get it.
midfielder. Honestly, like the fact that
Get it.
only if Partey leaves and Lokonga leaves, then maybe we'll get another one. But I honestly don't see an attacking midfielder. I don't see one coming in.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
You
It is
man
a
got a
shame
question.
because
This
we're
man
always
doesn't
one
want Xavi
player away.
Simons.
It's
I must ask him now. How highly does he rate Partey?
who
It's a question for you.
for me. How I rate Partey a lot, but again, we need to take off the 24-25 glasses and look at the bigger picture. Right, out of the 5 seasons, he's had one season that he's actually been good. One season, right?
That's harsh.
No, hold on, bro,
He's had two, man.
bro. He's had 1.5. I'll give you
One
one
and
and
a
a
half.
half.
Yeah,
One and
yeah.
a
Oh,
half.
that's harsh, man.
Nah, bro. Listen, I love Partey. When he's playing, he's cold. He's cold. The way he controls the
It
game, the
can
way he
be
passes through the lane,
with
right? But
calmness.
1.5 season, 32 years, and you're asking for 200k more. That's a recipe. That's a recipe for disaster.
Is he wrong for wanting his bread, though?
No, he's not.
He's not.
Obviously,
He's
we're
not. He's
fans,
not
and I'm
wrong.
not saying give it to him, but I'm saying, is he wrong?
He's not wrong. But at the same time, you need to be almost realistic, right? It's
Yeah,
because he says I'm an Arsenal fan. All right. If you're an Arsenal fan, take a bit of a wage cut, play for the club.
but he
Simple.
might. He might. The thing is, we don't have that information, right? Like this all might be games and like chivalry, like you know what
Mind
I mean.
games.
They're up
I do
fronting.
think he's gone now, though. But I
Yeah,
agree. It
I
is
know it
games.
looks that way, but I wouldn't be surprised if he changes his mind and he says, you know what? And then like in interviews, like Arsenal was always my club. I didn't want to leave. I want to stay, but all that stuff, and you know he just ends up staying on the same wages because I think Arsenal know we can't go buy another 40-50 million. Like we would have
That's
already.
what I was going to ask as well. Like, I hear what you lot are saying, but then if we've got a bunch of other things to do, even if you give Partey a wage increase, which I'm not saying to do, could that work out cheaper than trying to replace like for like quality through the door? Obviously, if you can go get a young G or somebody that is as good as Partey for, let's go do that. But if we assume that it's going to cost 50-60 million to improve upon Partey, yeah, or find levels, surely it's cheaper to just give him a 1-year deal with an option of another, with that wage increase, with caveat, however much that is. It don't have to be the most, but yeah, man. I'm happy I'm not bearing Arteta, to be fair.
I'll,
We lot
I'll,
got a
I'll
lot
say
to do.
I'll say this. Yes, it might be cheaper, but at the same time, we could flip it and say we save that 250k or 220k that he wanted, and we go for another Nico Williams or a Rodrigo, and we add that wage to what he could potentially get. Right.
I
So
hear that.
it works in both ways, bro. It works in both ways.
This is why I said I'm happy I'm not Arteta or this man.
That's all.
So many spinning plates, yeah. What do you lot make of this? Gary Jacob yesterday in the Times said Andrea Berta likes to negotiate for several players in the same position at the same time before deciding which move to activate. He sees it as a normal approach. In that sense, Berta contrasts with his predecessor, Edu, who preferred to focus on a single target. For me, I rate Berta for that, big him up, but not to take anything away. I just feel that's what a competent sporting director should be doing, which he's doing. So, yeah,
Well,
man.
I think.
yeah, go ahead.
So no, go ahead. No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I would say like there's different approaches, right? Like in business and strategy and everything in all facets of life, there's different approaches. Like, yes, you think there's a standard, right? But clearly it's not because Edu didn't move that way. Edu was very narrow focused. I want this player, I'm focused on this player, and I'm gonna put all my eggs in this basket. And if we can't get this player, then I'm gonna figure out what my next plan is, right? That was Edu. Whereas Andrea Berta is the opposite. He's making sure that someone like Sesko, someone like, Viktor Gyökeres is like willing to die for Arsenal. They both like tell all the other clubs, no, I want Arsenal. And then it's our choice and our decision. That gives us a lot of power and a lot of leverage, but it could also get messy like we're seeing a bit now where like, both players are overvalued in our opinion and we don't know what to do and we don't know which trigger to pull. And then we might lose both and they might move on to other clubs. And then we're left twiddling our thumbs going for Ollie Watkins. So it's a dangerous game, but I respect it and I appreciate it, and I think we got to see it play out. Like, we need a sample size to judge Berta on, right? And right now we don't really have one. That we just have the contract extensions, and the Zubimendi was done before, so I wouldn't classify that as his. But I mean the Lewis Kelly, the Gabriel, all the contract extensions, and then the striker and winger. That's where I'm going to judge Berta.
Facts. Completely off topic here, but it might divide opinions. Oh, Dennis said, big up my moderators. Okay, so DG, back to what I said. What do you make of Carlos starting Martinelli for a World Cup qualifier? Does that show there's a player in there maybe worth keeping? He seems to be Brazil's left wing. I've made my stance clear. I'm keeping Martinelli. I need an upgrade until if we sign the Rodrigo, Martinelli now plays to the level he did many years ago and better, then cool, you might be a star. But for me, drop Donny, you're in the squad. Unless there's an offer, I can't refuse. But where would you lot be at with that?
No, that 100% is my sentiment as well. Right? It's always been the sentiment. It's like, you're not gonna be sold. Like he's not that guy. He's not being sold. We got another year. He's still got talent. He loves the club like a lot. Like you can see Gabriel, Magalhaes, all the Brazilian guys. They love Arsenal a lot. You can tell, right? And that's why we love them as well, because that's how you want your players to be, right? So he's not going anywhere.
No, I agree. It's like I wouldn't get rid of him first, but you obviously you did ask the question if a little cheeky 60-70 mil started coming in.
And in terms of the Carlo Ancelotti stuff, like clearly if that manager sees potential in you and he uses you in a certain way, and by the way, when he played for Brazil, he looked really good, and a lot of Brazilian fans were saying that he was their best player, and he had Vinicius.
But the assist he should have got for Cunha.
Or Cunha, yeah.
But again, that game was open. You see what I'm saying? That game there was kind of open. That's where I'm looking at with Martinelli. I just think, I remember a few years ago, and I don't remember the day, but if somebody just types in Martinelli, Mikel Arteta, Martinelli, 100 miles per hour. I remember one of Mikel Arteta's early days, he said Martinelli needs to slow down and stop doing things at 100 miles per hour. I think there's been elements of that, but I don't think it's fully changed. And even going back to what I said about accepting players for what they are, if you kind of coach that a bit too much out of him, you might lose him.
But you know what I'll say? Remember when we forced Oba on the left wing and he looked out of place and he hated being there? That's what I feel with Martinelli. Like, he doesn't want to be there, man. He's an inside forward. He wants to be closer to goal. Put him in behind. If you watch the game against, I think it was against PSG, right? There was the opportunity when Odegaard could have played him in behind. He's literally pointing and he's angling his run to go in behind.
We've seen that a few times still.
We don't want to make that pass, right? No, we're allergic to making that pass. And that's a pass that Aubameyang, that Theo Walcott, that Gabriel, they want that pass in behind. Put me in a sprint race. And I'm taking this ball all the way one-on-one with the keeper. If I don't finish, I don't finish. But the point is we don't create enough of those chances. If you create enough of those chances, he'll score enough goals. You're not playing to his strengths.
I hear that. To the panel, despite Arteta having a bunch of midfield options, do you think... Wait, what? To the panel, despite Arteta having a bunch of midfield options, do you think that he will start to rotate? I'm not sure what you mean. I guess I have to assume and interpret it as if you think if you thought Arteta had a bunch of midfield options, would he start to rotate? I think Kamsa's going that. What would you lot say to that?
Despite having a bunch of midfield options, do you think that he will start to rotate? Like, listen, one of the weaknesses that I believe Arteta has is, one, he leaves substitutions way too late.
Way too late.
Game's already done, right? 85th minute, this guy wants to bring on a substitution. And two, he doesn't rotate enough.
That's when I think he's given up on the game personally.
I think he's too scared to bring on other players that he had because he doesn't trust the rest of the squad.
I agree.
I think Arteta is like, I've planned all week. They're gonna move here.
I think he's stubborn.
I'm just deviating away from that.
I honestly think. I agree with African Gooner there. I honestly think he does not trust the rest of the squad, 100%. And hence the reason why he's like, I have to. Do you know why? Yeah, it's because there's a couple of times. Yeah, he did build this. There's a couple of times I've seen players like Declan Rice. He was blowing. He's been blowing a couple of times.
Yeah, a couple of times Dons are finished.
Yeah, Dons are finished, but he doesn't want to take them off, and it's because he doesn't trust the rest of the squad.
And by the way, can I tell you something? This what we're talking about right now is exactly the reason why I told DG 2 years ago or 3 years ago that we were going to sell Smith Rowe before we sold Smith Rowe, because I could already tell that he didn't trust him. Because when there's opportunities to play someone that has skill sets that is clear and obvious that we're lacking in our team, and you don't bring that guy on, it
Smith
means
Rowe
you don't
might be a
trust him.
better
And
option
that's
off
why
that left than Nelly
with
right now.
Sterling, with
Oh, man,
Sterling, the same thing. He didn't trust him. He didn't want to bring him on, and rightly so. But we made the decision to bring him
Uncomfortable.
to the club, right?
Oh,
So,
why did we sell Emil Smith Rowe?
To
Why?
be fair, he
bro,
wanted to cut.
I
But
know,
that's
yeah,
because
he
but
wanted
Arteta
to
ain't
cut.
giving you
But
no
bro, if
encouragement and
you're
he's
not
not busting.
playing,
that's
of course,
the
if you're
thing
not
as well,
playing,
guys.
you want to cut. Like,
But that's the thing as well, guys. Like the season before he left, he played at Luton, had the player of the match, had an amazing game. Didn't see him again.
yeah, he got dropped.
What? That's
Yeah,
another
I know.
thing as well.
Sometimes there's no logic with
Bro,
Arteta's decisions. It's hard to kind of see what he sees sometimes, right? Like when you bring on a defender instead of an attacker, but you're chasing a goal. Like, bro, what? Like, we need a goal. Why are you bringing on a right back? I need you to be bringing on a striker or a winger or
and that's
attacking
and that's
midfielder,
yeah, and
right?
that's another thing as well. I'm tired of seeing him make substitutions like for like. For example, Timber for
Yeah.
White. If we're chasing a game where it's a draw, we know we need to win. Take off Timber, bring on a Havertz. If we've already got a striker up there, bring
Take
on
off a
another
fullback and
attacker.
just bet on one more striker or something.
Yeah, man, just change the game. I want to see, like, he's actually going for it. Right now, it seems like he's too scared to try and do that, or maybe he doesn't have the experience to. Whatever it is, it's killing us. It's
I think it's
absolutely killing
scared.
us.
I think it's scared, but you know why? It's funny because it's killing us even more. Him not doing anything. So I know he's scared to
Mm.
like make a change and then
It's like
fans will
us
be
in the
like, "Blah, blah,
transfer
blah,
window,
blah, blah,
not
blah."
buying players has harmed us because we're
Yeah,
always nitpicking. And when
yeah,
you do
exactly.
that, you have to make sure when the guys come through the door now, they're wavy. Speaking of that, yeah, next question. Michael Edwards, the Liverpool director, is about to sell Kwanzaa for £35 million. Who is the squad player? Why do we find it difficult selling our players for good money? What do we get for Zinni? Boy, Zinni, dark, 10 mil, if that. Well, where you like with that question?
So, I mean, for me personally, I think it's a nuanced conversation because of the fact that they gave them 120, 130 mil for Verts. They are kind of repaying some of that favor and giving them back some of that money, hands down, because Anza is not 35 million pound player or 35
A
million,
good
40
hustle,
million
though.
But
euro.
listen,
Yeah, it's a good hustle,
Is it
man.
is
We
Nketiah a
got,
30 million player? No.
I mean, he's
Was,
British
was,
though, right? And he was playing for
nah,
us. I
Oh,
think he is.
Kwanzaa,
I
done.
think he is.
but
I think he is.
Kwanzaa's British.
Sure, but does he play as much as Nketiah? I think Nketiah contributed more to Arsenal than this Kwanzaa guy did for Liverpool,
But
right? Like the amount of time and
yeah.
minutes he plays and impact. I don't know.
Mm,
It's questionable. It's debatable. I'm not saying I'm
yeah.
right or wrong.
How
I'm
good are
just
you
saying,
at hustling? This is
you
where we
know,
need
like
to change.
That's
But
the thing.
sorry, Arteta. I'm sorry, Edu weren't a hustler. Michael
yeah.
Edwards
No,
been there,
No.
done it, wore the t-shirt.
we
That's
Now
what
we
also
I'm
got
have
saying.
better.
we
Edu was never a hustler. But I'll tell you this, right?
yeah.
Another thing as well is that agents play an important part
Was,
in terms of
yeah.
getting
Yeah,
the player out of the club.
million%.
Because they're like, yeah, man, look, he's the next Van Dijk. He's got so much potential. He just didn't get his chance at Liverpool. Trust me, there's a player in there. And then you're having
But
negotiations, you're having this.
But you know what? It's also the reputation. We have a bad reputation. So when we already are on a losing playing field, we're already in the negatives when we come and we start a negotiation. In my opinion, based on our history of what we do with Liverpool, when you go negotiate with Liverpool or Brighton, like look, like before we even get linked, you already know that those discussions are going to be very difficult, right? Because they have a reputation, they have a brand. Liverpool, we know they're going to always get good money for all their players. Even Chelsea do that, right? With Arsenal, you know that we're a joke when it comes to selling. And that's something that we need to change. We need to change the perception of the market on us as negotiators and as a selling club and also as a buying club. And I think we've started to do that with better signings and better recruitment. But as you said, like with some of these wages that we're giving players that are, average players that we are struggling to get rid of, like someone like Zinchenko and Reece
Yeah,
Nelson.
we did get
There's still
decent
a lot
money
of
for
mess
getting
that's
on
coming
Balogun,
up.
like this comment says.
Yeah, honestly, I think we've improved that. I know before it was kind of bad, but we sold Nketiah for 30 mil. We sold Balogun for 35
Yeah,
mil. We
but
sold
that's
Emil
two
Smith Rowe.
examples out of like how many? That's
Emil
like out
Smith
of
Rowe.
hundreds of
I
examples,
hear that,
right?
but you need to remember.
Yeah, it needs to become the minimum now. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. You need to remember as well is that we've transitioned away from that. Right,
Yeah,
it's the last two,
yeah,
3 seasons where we're starting to make better. Like, do you remember when Nketiah last season actually Marseille wanted to buy him for like 20 mil, and we said
yeah,
no, we're
Nah,
happy
yeah.
yeah,
with
nah. To
30
be
mil.
fair, I
We
rate
kept him
Eddie
and we
for
couldn't
that
play
because
him.
everyone was getting
Yeah.
at him. Oh, you don't know what you're doing. That
Yeah,
you
no,
got, we got to be fair. That you was right then, innit?
Yeah, you're right. He was right, and that's the team. That's again the team showing progression, and this is what I like about Berta. Berta, he came in. The first thing he did when he came in, he is like, we're not gonna go for John Garcia for 25 million. We're gonna go for Kepa, 5 million. Get in through the door.
I don't
Spend
think
that 25
so.
million.
I don't think that that's how it played out. I'm gonna be honest with you. Honestly, I don't think that that was our decision. I think Joan Garcia is the one who chose Barcelona, and that's why we didn't get the deal done. I don't think it's that Arsenal were the ones saying, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna change our strategy. We're gonna get someone cheaper." I think we couldn't guarantee the game time, and he made his choice, and we got to live with it, and we move on. And yeah, we'll play it off as if we are the ones who changed our mind. But I really don't think that that is the case, in my opinion.
The reason why I think that is because from January up until March, April times, we was getting linked with him. We was getting linked, and then it's suddenly just stopped.
Do you know? But it goes even beyond that. Do you know that last summer, before we got Neto, we actually were signing him, and he had his bags ready. He had his bags ready, packed to come to us. And the only reason we didn't buy him is because we didn't want to pay an extra 5 million to activate his release clause because of the PSR and all the money that we had spent. So we said, wait a whole season. We're going to come back next year to get you, and we'll pay the release clause. And that's why we went and signed a cup-tied freaking goalkeeper, Neto. And now we came back this year where he had an incredible season, right? I think probably the goalkeeper of La Liga. And now all these big teams like Barcelona can offer him guaranteed game time, and we can't. And it's normal that he's going to go and choose Barca, right? And he's Spanish as well. Like, I mean, I think that's how.
And the number one shirt is there. Ter Stegen's getting rubbed out. Chesney's an
That
old
is
man.
crazy.
Pick him
Yeah,
up.
that is crazy. That is
You don't
crazy.
want to.
Yeah,
When we was
5
linked with
million,
Garcia
bro.
last year, I said, like, I want this Garcia lad, but it just stinks of the goalkeeping thing we've had because you're getting
Yeah.
inroads in La Liga. There's only so long you're gonna want to be second fiddle to Raya. So Arteta would have a choice of, does he actually come true with some of those claims about our sub goalies at halftime, or is Raya gonna have to take it on the chin and either leave or be second choice, or is Garcia prepared to hold it up? It's probably a fallacy, man. It's probably a fallacy. It's one we're gonna look back and think what could have been, even though I've got
But the
no
thing
issues
is, it
with
brings
Raya.
problems. It would have brought problems, which is why I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? It would have caused some division within the fan base and stuff that we don't need. Like, we have way bigger priorities than, who's our starting. Like, our starting goalkeeper is good enough for me to not really be, too disheartened by it. Of course, Garcia, I think, probably displaces Rea someday, and he ends up being better than him. But I think in this moment in time, as a fan base and as a club, we got way bigger priorities, man. Like, you know what I mean? Which is okay, which is why I'm like, whatever. It is the way it is, and we tried and we made some mistakes, but it's actually not the end of the world for us.
Big up Miles Lewis Skelly. I'm not even gonna. I think we can move on from this. Everybody's in agreement. We're happy this man has signed a new deal. We love all of that. What do you lot make of Carlos Costa leaving? Big him up at 29, 30 years of age. Great stuff, but boy,
I'm happy for him. But I think we've lost a good one there. We've lost a good one.
Absolutely, same here. I think obviously, I think losing anyone in Arteta's inner circle is important now when we have a solid kind of group, right? And a lot of the players talk about this family and everything. Like, when you become comfortable and you're all like on the same hymn sheet, right? Like, everyone is focused on one goal. It's very easy to move a team or a club or an organization towards that, right? So having any type of destabilization in any way, whether small, big, or medium, is not good for us. So I think, Arsenal are going to do their due diligence. You probably won't replace him immediately. It'll probably take a couple of months to get someone else. And we have people around Arteta now that can fill that role. So yeah, I mean, best of luck to him. And as you said, DG, like, that's a great achievement, right? 29 years old. He's the youngest manager in the top 5 European leagues now, which and Arsenal created that, right? So again, it's reflective on us and showing other people and other professionals that if you come to Arsenal, it could be a step not only for players but also for coaches and managers and etc. staff members to elevate in the industry. I guess that's a way of looking at it as well. That people,
I mean, big him up, man. Like, everybody's got ambition. Arteta must have seen a bit of himself when he departed. This was probably what he was always geared to do. I hear what you're saying about our family and all of that, and I don't think you're wrong. But change is inevitable. It is what it is. It's go shine, my guy. I'm keen to see you, Cesc Fabregas, and Vieira in Serie A next season. Shine, man. Hope one of you win the damn thing, but whether that happens is another kind of thing, man. What do you lot make of this year? Now, there's bare rumors being thrown into this, but Sesko, one rumor that I wanted to speak with you lot about, apparently, if he is to join Arsenal, he wants a release clause in his deal.
20% of the fee that we're paying. I've seen that from a French reporter as well that I trust quite well. And look, I mean, it doesn't. I don't know why it doesn't make a lot of sense. Why would you want to move into a club and like one of the first things you agree on, or one of the
I agree. I hear why you'd want
conditions?
that because you might get Real Madrid offers one day if you develop. But we're not a little
But
man
yeah,
club.
but
Forget it.
Arsenal, but Arsenal's
Forget.
never done that ever. When have Arsenal ever signed a player and put a release? Like that's not an English.
Let's do a gentleman's agreement.
But yeah, I think
I don't like that. I don't like that because would he, for example, would he do that at Man City? No.
Would
probably
you do that
not.
anywhere else? Forget that. I don't want to hear that.
But that's the thing. I don't want to hear that. If
I
you're
swear
talking
Haaland
about
had a release clause, to be fair, but you're not Haaland.
yeah, you're not Haaland, bro. Like, and at the same time, it's that you're kind of using us as a stepping stone. That's the way I see it. You're using us as a stepping stone because you're thinking, all right, I'm gonna prove to other guys that I'm good, and then I'm waiting for a Real Madrid or a Barcelona or Bayern Munich to come in and get me, and I want to be able to go.
As much as it pees me off, I don't mind that because it shows. And when I remove my Arsenal fan badge, it shows ambition. You know where you want your career to go. My thing is, fuck that release clause. Whatever you're thinking is happening, we're not a little man club. You're not getting that.
That's that because if you're coming to the club and I'm spending 70, 80 mil on you, I'm expecting you to want to play for the badge.
For the rest of your life.
For the not.
I know it's not
maybe not the rest of your life. Maybe not the rest of your life. At least 5 years, at least 4 to 5 years. I'm expecting you to be at the club.
But what if he wants that and he wants the release clause like 5th year? I want to cut.
Nah. Then tell him to go suck
then
him.
you're not for us. Move on.
Real talk. Tell him to go suck himself.
But that's my point. Like,
look, think about it. Sorry, my bro.
No, go for it.
Gyokeres is actually saying to everyone else. He's come out publicly and saying, "I want to join Arsenal.
Yeah,
I want to come and join Arsenal. Everything else is a second priority." And you've got mine talking about what?
Release clause. Yeah,
go
I know.
yourself.
It's too much ego. Honestly, it shows
a bad. I don't like that. I don't like that. If that is true, because first I wanted Sesko before. If that is true, bro, bun him, man. Go get.
But you know what? On the other side of the coin, the stuff about Gyokeres and also like they have to pay 10% of the fee if the
bare mind games with
that's
Gyokeres.
Also nasty. That's also nasty. So both of them have some dirt.
It's drama in it for both of these youths, man.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And apparently we want him. Like apparently he's told friends and family where Gyokeres is concerned. He expects us to sign. Talksport apparently are saying that Gyokeres is actually more likely to sign. I don't know, man, because one report says Sesko and Gyokeres. I don't know anymore.
Man. That's what you want. You want a player to come in and be like, "Yeah, I want to go for Arsenal."
You have a player twerking. You have a player of this caliber twerking for us. Yeah,
they both got shady agents. Not even shady
agents. So Arsenal, bro. It's so Arsenal. We don't even get into situations like this when someone who is so wanted, or one of the top goal scorers, one of the top strikers in the market, is telling everybody, Man U, Juventus, his family is like, no, I'm waiting for Arsenal, and we are here.
Dreams are playing for us, apparently.
Bro, it's frustrating.
Look at that. Look at that. Right? Look at that. Because the thing is, people don't understand. I know people just think it's words, but the moment a player arrives at the club, he wants to set an impression. He wants to be like, yeah, I want to play for the club. I want to play for Arsenal Football Club. I want to do this. I want to get the best goals. I want to win the champ. Release clause. Are you mad?
Yeah.
I'm not on that.
Bro,
well, we don't know
that, man.
I hope it's not true. I hope it's rumors and whatnot. But
I hope it's not true. But if it is true,
safe.
Just go ahead.
Yeah, Gyokeres thing, keep it moving. That we're not on that. Would you like have Visa? Apparently, we're one of 5 clubs interested. He would cost 50 mil though.
How much? 50. 50.
I mean, it's not bad.
I'll say this. I'll say this. If we get rid of Trossard, I'll bring in Wissa.
Yeah,
not for 50, but I would love him in the squad. I think this would cook still, but 50. I did say 50 is the new 25, but
madness. Yeah, this is a striker signing.
It's madness though.
People will be really disappointed. I think people rather take Watkins than him, but he's a solid player. I'd rather take Mbeumo. And Mbeumo's 50 million. Why go for him? If you're gonna go 50 million, go for him.
It's the United thing, man. That one's probably gone.
But they haven't moved on it, right? It's been like weeks. I thought it was supposed to be done, right? It's been like 2-3 weeks since all that stuff happened, and no move has been made yet. So I mean, look, if we're saying 50 million, we gotta go get him. And the fact that we don't even look, Nico Williams looks dead in the water, right? I mean, Rodrigo looks dead in the water.
Finish.
Sorry?
dead in the water. It's finished.
Oh yeah, it's
Nico
finished.
Williams and Arsenal is no more. It probably didn't get
Guy's
off the
saying
ground.
that he'll eat peanuts to play for them, but he wasn't saying that for us. So forget that.
And that's our fault. Stop chasing gal that don't like you. Where Arsenal and Nico Williams is concerned. Like, it don't make no sense. They're gonna put goalposts. As soon as a girl that likes him is going there in Barcelona, oh, I don't care about money. I don't care about this. You got to make the first step with the agents.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we sign a right winger that can play on both wings, really, because I don't see what left winger now is really there left on the market for us. I mean, Lookman and stuff, we haven't really been linked. Rafael Leao, who I really, really want, but I think Bayern probably are leading the race for that.
Yeah, it looks like they're onto him.
He's so good. I'm watching comps of him. He's so good, bro. He's exactly what we need. He's even
do you need Rafael Leao when you can buy Madueke?
Nah, please. You shameless NF.
No, I'm
sorry. Answer the question.
I'm sorry. Yeah, two things. Yeah, one just on Rafael Leao quickly. I've got a friend who's a Milan fan. Yeah. And he said, because I was like, I want Leao. He looked at me.
Let me get another hot and cold brother like Xavi said.
Yeah, he's like, bro, you don't want Leao.
I don't lie to you lot.
You don't want Leao, right? Because when it comes to the Prem, the things about the Prem, you can't afford to be lax.
Yeah,
you can't afford to be lax for even 5 minutes. You're lax, you get punished. And
Them
that's
man
what
in
Leao
London.
is.
Ooh.
Yeah. You get lax, you get punished, right? So he gets laxes. He gets lax of moments where he just switches off. Personally, I would go for Mitoma.
80 mil probably, right? Like, damn.
I just can't see us doing the Gyökeres and Mitoma. You got a 27 and 28-year-old. I'm not against it, but you know how our club operate. But why get Mitoma when you can get Madueke and we've got good relationships with Chelsea and England international? Plays off the left and right.
This guy.
Is there any takers here?
Madueke, I will take Madueke because I think he's a baller. But you need to remember this: Madueke is going to be brought in to be backup to Saka, not to be a starter.
Left wing when needed, but
not a starter, But this guy's a baller. Do not get it twisted. Like, he's one of the only players in the Prem right now that can easily just go past players easily. It's just his end product that is rubbish.
I think forget how good he is or not. I think we're past that point now. We've signed in too many. It's like too many Chelsea players, right? Like, just stop. Irrespective. Like, I hear you. He could be, but just.
Can I say something?
Not gonna we're just over it now.
Can I say something? Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna get cooked for this, but I don't think Rodrigo is gonna do all that if he comes.
We're not getting him in. I think he will, but I don't think we're getting Rodrigo full stop.
I don't think he'll do. I don't think he'll do that. And the guy that I see on the screen right now, Anthony Gordon, he better not touch Arsenal Football Club.
Why?
He looks like he's going Liverpool, but why?
This guy's average, guys. He's average. He's average.
He's above average.
I like him though. He's gonna be overpriced though.
He's overpriced for sure, but to say he's average, like, he's good, bro.
Average ain't even an insult, really. Like, there's bare average people that are Premier League legends.
He is bro.
You know why I like him? He shoots a lot. He shoots a lot. We need someone who wants to score goals. This guy is hungry for goals, bro. He doesn't score like. I mean, he hit the top right corner. I mean, he's got that on lock. But if you watch his compilation, a lot of his goals are tap-ins, and he's just in the right place at the right time. Again, remember we're talking about.
I'm telling you now, bro.
He's better than Martinelli. He's better at finishing than Martinelli.
The ball's on the floor with that, man.
I'd rather keep
Martinelli. That's like rating a goalie because they catch better than runners.
I'd rather keep Martinelli. I'd rather keep Martinelli instead of getting this guy. This guy's bang average, man. Bang average.
I like Gordon.
I think when you're so deprived,
this guy,
you kind of make exceptions.
Bring this shit tomorrow.
Yeah, I want him today.
Yeah, even.
This guy is a big
such an Arsenal Emirates era player.
But then you
should. He reminds me of Nasri.
Yeah, but we should have
poor man's Nasri. A poor man, yeah.
We should have signed Turkey instead, man. If we really wanted to get that sort of profile.
No.
I wanted Cherky. Certain man were telling me about systems and that, bro. If we can get this year, he's versatile, he's young, I would be with this.
This is the guy that we need. The reason why is because I've seen him play for Leicester and he plays that 8/10 as opposed to Cherky just being a number 10. Cherky, he's the guy that stays in the hole and he's like, give me the ball and I'll make things happen. This guy, he dropped deep.
Cherky going wide.
Yeah, I hear that.
I want this year. I don't know if I should buy it though.
Yeah, man, this guy does both.
Is this a credible source? I don't know, man. Like,
no, it's not.
But I saw him and I was like, just such a player, man.
We've been linked for a while. There hasn't been any serious talk.
Yeah, like nobody said anything.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
think in the next
game
few
in.
weeks, probably we'll
Game
hear
in.
where he's ending up. Again, I
I
don't think
don't
we'll
buy
get
this. Are you like having Warren Zaire? I don't buy this rumor. I would
I
I
don't
love
don't
want
to
buy
him.
his
have him. I
memory
don't
either.
buy it though.
I don't want him.
Graham Bailey and
Huh?
TTR football is not a
This
great
guy's a
story.
generational talent.
Is it? Do you know
He's
what? Maybe I
supposed to
need to
be.
look at him more. Maybe I need to look at him more.
Give
But
him a chat. Once he gets a chat, I don't know why Luis Enrique ain't busting him. He's
I've
cold.
seen him play for
see,
France.
You're not
there we
gonna
go.
play week in, week out for us, so it probably doesn't make sense joining us. But I think it's
He,
Wasp. Bring him.
I've seen him play for France, and
I'm probably biased because I rate him, but
yeah, he's a
Uh,
baller. He
uh,
just doesn't get the opportunity because there's too many other ballers at freaking PSG. They have way too many good attacking players, man. Like honestly, they should just give us some.
mm,
what's this? GA in 2024-25. Player A, 8 goals, 4 assists. Player B, 6 goals, 5 assists. Can you guess who each player is? One of them's Rodrigo, isn't it?
Yeah, one of them is Martinelli.
One of them probably, yeah, exactly. African Gooner. Yoni, let us know. So now we're doing the stats thing. I just want a shiny new toy, if I'm honest. I just want to
No, of
enjoy
course.
it.
We're
but
deprived.
you don't want a shiny new toy that breaks as soon as it drops.
Buy a new
Dude.
thing now, man. I
But
just
you
said
see
buy a
that,
new thing, man.
that shiny new toy
I know it's
comes
silly, but buy a new thing. Just buy bare stuff. It's like, I kind
it
of
has
wish I could just wake up and we done that. Like,
it
Real
has
talk.
a durability meter. Like we want a shiny toy, but we, as you said, you don't want one that you're just gonna break at the first time you drop it, right? So
buy a
that's
pair
a
and a spare.
tough one.
Okay, that's
Yeah. So Rodrigo and Trossard, or who was it? Who was it?
Yeah, who is it? Rodrigo? No, but Yoni had the guy. Yoni's the one that asked the question. He's
Okay,
got to
okay.
answer it because everything else is a guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, player A is Martinelli and player
Gordon
B is Gordon and Rodrigo.
and Rodrigo. Yeah.
see,
So maybe
see,
these guys are not going to take us out the hood regardless.
see.
But that's
I
a
Yeah.
stats
told
thing, though, man.
you. Nah, man, no. Do you know what it is? It's because at first I wanted Rodrigo, and then I looked at him again and looked at him again. I was like, yeah, he's a good player, but bro,
The only thing
The
I
thing is,
disagreed with Rodrigo is people saying he's our Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez was a baller over them sides and was a baller over these sides. I'm not saying Rodrigo isn't, but I haven't seen that. But that being said, bro, I'm
the
taking
level of
Rodrigo tomorrow.
the level of hunger that Alexis Sanchez have, the only comparable person I would say is that level is Ronaldo, right? Like that's the level, like CR7, that's the level of hunger that Sanchez had to win. And that you cannot teach, and that's innate for like that's very, very hard to find in this, especially in 2025. With the way the world is today, it's very hard to find players like that. So
no, just keep as long as we keep Anthony Gordon away from the club, I'm fine.
You don't have to worry about Gordon, man. I don't think he's joining Arsenal. Would
I
you not
would
make
not
of Hato?
Yeah, great player. I think it would be good to have him in. I think roughly the last time I saw his transfer market value was probably around like 20 to 30 million.
40.
If you're Ajax, you want 40.
40. Damn. Well, listen.
But surely, if you're Ajax, I reckon personally, I want him to sign for Arsenal. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
I do.
leaving is a bad thing with Ajax, but what you're 19, you've captained them before, you've played over 100 times, you've spent a year at left back, centre half, you got a World Cup next year. Maybe you could just stay one more
And
year.
Ajax has super
I want him.
technical players as well, like we know with Timber. So like they meets our style, and we've been linked with them for 2-3 years. You know, and we can change our formation.
You can play
and
Rodrigo in the 10, but go on.
Lewis Kelly, push Lewis Kelly up front into midfield. You know, it gives us a lot of flexibility. And if we get rid of Zinchenko and Kiwior, then definitely he's the one who's going to be bringing in. And Liverpool and Chelsea are also interested. Chelsea have calmed down in talks since the Club World Cup, and that's why Arsenal have advanced negotiations. So looks like personal terms are going to be agreed, and we just have to figure out on the fee. I wouldn't be surprised if he's
Call your boy.
signing that we get before we get
Call your
Sesko
boy.
and Gyokeres stuff.
Call your boy immediately.
I want Timber's twin, Quentin.
I don't
Yeah,
really
we were
rate him.
linked with him a few times, but
I think he's calm. I think he's cool.
He's a midfielder.
I don't know.
What for 20 to 30 mil? That's
I
not
wouldn't
bad.
cry that. A bit more. Well, you got tech, but you're more of an industrial midfielder. If you get it for the price you said, I'm cool with that. But
And he wants
don't
us.
move me, man. He don't
Yeah, he
move
I
me,
hear that.
man.
He's not. I'm not trying to buy him as a
Yeah, a little squad player. I'm
He's
cool with
squad
that.
player.
He's
Yeah, but
squad
you see,
player.
we don't want any squad players right now. I only want to see potential starters at least for the first 3-4 signings, right? And then once we filled all the positions that need to be addressed, then sure, okay, go, get your squad fillers and your squad players. But I think people will be really frustrated if you sign rotation squad players. This is why we're frustrated with Marino, right? And people are saying, oh, Zubimendi's a waste. If you sign Zubimendi last season instead of Marino, complete different conversation that we have, right?
I don't know, because Marino bossed it against Madrid. Obviously, we couldn't predict it, but
Yeah,
it
you
might
couldn't
have panned
predict
out.
that, but he's bought as a squad player. He's not bought as a starter. And
Yeah, no, I
bet
hear you, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
But the problem was the ITKs and these journalists and these coaches. Everyone was saying Marino's going to take Partey's place, game changing 8, going to unlock this, that, and the other. Anyone that watched Sociedad or anyone that just randomly watched 5 to 10 games without being a religious Sociedad watcher, you knew it weren't adapting. You knew it wasn't adapting. My last thing for you lot as well, yeah. Arsenal apparently have discussed Mohamed Kudus at West Ham, as have Chelsea and Spurs. Arsenal, well, we've gone over the Madueke bit, but Kudus, any takers?
Yes.
I'll take him in. I'll take him in a heartbeat. And I wanted to throw this back at you guys. Would you guys take Luis Diaz from Liverpool?
Oh yeah, 100%. I rate Diaz, bro. 100%.
By default, yes, because we're like he's better than what we have, but nah.
Nah, he's good, bro. He's good.
Do you know how much what you're saying about Gordon to a degree applies to Diaz? Do you know how mad Luis Diaz makes Liverpool fans? They're so frustrated to the point where they say he plays a lot better for Colombia. By default, I'm having him, but it's I don't want no more frustrating.
Listen, you can't compare Gordon to Diaz. Like I get it, maybe he might frustrate you, but Diaz is at least clinical. He can play up front. He can play on the left. He's a good player.
Diaz misses a lot, bro.
I like Diaz. Don't get twisted. I like him, but I don't really think it makes sense. He's 28 as well. And I'm talking about your decision making and frustrations.
Mate, someone said Martinelli over Diaz. Whoa.
I mean, it's
same
close.
2 peas of a pod, really.
It's close.
To be fair, he did get 13 league goals, 13 goals, 7 assists. Maybe there's a bit of attacking tax and transitional tax, so he might not get those numbers. Fair enough. He's got the same amount of, to be fair, he's not really the most prolific of inside forwards anyway. He's got the exact same amount of goals for Porto and Liverpool at this moment, which is 41. And the assists are near enough identical. He's got 23 for Liverpool and 19 for Porto. Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. If there's a deal to be had. But yeah, man, I think we need to explore other options.
Yeah, Kudus, definitely. I'll take him in a heartbeat. I'll take Kudus in a heartbeat.
You man love to fund rivals.
He'd be able to play both. He'd be able to play in the 10. He'd be able to play dude, he'd be so good for Prem proven. He brings the directness. He can dribble. He can score. He can assist. Like, honestly, I don't see any negatives with signing.
Look at this comment. I'm sorry, I'm not even dissing Luis Diaz. Is Luis Diaz world class?